What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 147 of Smack Talk, coming to you from smarkoutmoment.com. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and with me on the panel this evening, the typical people that we usually have. You guys are used to these names by now, but we're going to introduce them one by one nonetheless. First up, Mr. Drew White.
The official co-host for Smack Talk here on Smark Out Moment, may I add. Thank you very much for putting that out there, Mr. Mango.
If you say it enough, eventually that'll happen, and then everybody will be like, oh crap, this episode's hosted by Drew.
Yes, exactly.
We also have Sean Walker.
YouTube.com/Shaughnessy1989.
Getting those plugs out of the way real fast, huh?
Well, nobody waits until the end.
We also have Stephen Wago.
We are on episode 147, and it only took us 147 times to try and do this intro.
That's true. I think it was 143. I think we're
Getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. We'll see how long it takes to do the hot tags. Don't you just love when Skype is screwing up? And Mike Payton's going to be joining us a little bit later on, and we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff later on. Our main event is going to be a discussion about whether or not the second World Heavyweight Championship would have played a factor into some people winning the title that never had a chance to win the title in the past. We are going to take a little bit of a break with the rest hold in part 3. We're going to do our Fantasy League trades and updates in part 5. Hot tags, of course, as I mentioned, are coming up in part 2. And you know the score with part 1. This means it's time for the wrestling trivia question of the week, otherwise known as the Ask Him segment.
Ask him!
So let's backtrack a little bit and talk about last week's questions. The one for the panel was, which current superstar on the roster has the record for 3-0 at Night of Champions? And that was Daniel Bryan, 2010, 2012, and 2013. He won all 3 matches at that pay-per-view. The question for you guys out there was the opposite. Which current superstar on the roster has the record for 0-3 at Night of Champions? And the answer to that was Jack Swagger. 2009, 2011, and 2013, he's lost all of his matches at Night of Champions. So who got it right? Mike McCormick, Rosa Show, Mr. Biggs, a.k.a. the bad guy. Watchman King 67 gets partial credit for saying Swaggit instead of Swagger. That typo costs you some imaginary points here. And Johnny Castaway guessed Wade Barrett. That is unfortunately incorrect, so you get no imaginary points whatsoever towards your bank account or whatever we're keeping track of this from. Somebody out there's got to keep track, right? I don't know. So, if you are unfamiliar with that way that we do that kind of stuff, it's 2 questions, one for the panel and one for the audience. So we're going to continue that trend and do that for this week. And one of the topics that we're going to talk about in the hot tag, spoiler alert, is going to be about The Rock and how he has just been cast in a superhero movie. So going off of the idea of actors and wrestlers or whatever, question to you guys here. Which wrestler played Super Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze?
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash. Ding, ding, ding. So the question to the audience, piggybacking off that a little bit. What wrestler was in The Waterboy as Captain Insano?
Oh,
That's that Adam Sandler film, if you're unfamiliar with The Waterboy, which you should go ahead and check out, because that was when Adam Sandler was actually pretty funny.
just give them the answer, why don't you? Where's your Tony Mango difficult, bullshit question that you always have?
Last week's was bad enough, or no, 2 weeks ago, with the Undertaker beating himself at SummerSlam. So I'll make up for it, and it'll be an easy one for this one. But if you think you know the answer to the question, leave a comment below on YouTube, or you can send a tweet at SmarkOutMoment with the hashtag AskHim, and on the next episode, we will tell you who got it right, who got it wrong, who gets all those imaginary points, and we will continue on in part 2 here with the hot tags, so stay tuned, click on that next video. Smack Talk is coming back.